The summer drifted into a heated sprint, and suddenly one line from a manager has the football world leaning forward. Xabi Alonso insisting he counts on Rodrygo, even as whispers grow louder about the Brazilian walking toward the exit. It's the kind of contradiction that feeds headlines. A player trained in the Bernabeu spotlight whose minutes have thinned, and a Premier League giant watching with a readiness that feels more like a readiness to pounce than polite interest. For Arsenal, this is not just scouting. It's opportunity dressed as urgency. They see a forward who can operate across either flank or through the middle. A player whose movement and finishing could solve the tiny tactical headaches that have nudged Arteta awake at 3 a.m. With the window closing, the calculus is simple. Sign quality now or risk being outdone when rivals find their late momentum. Madrid's squad is deep, crowded with marquee names and managerial intention. If a coach says he counts on someone, headlines pass it into certainty. But football decisions live in the messy middle. Form, fitness, balance, money. From the bench, Rodrygo's flashes still glitter. The record shows moments of brilliance that could justify a top club paying to pry him loose. So Arsenal's interest is not fantasy. It's a plan that includes possible sales, tactical reshuffles, and a willingness to spend on a player who already knows high-pressure stages. For Mikel Arteta, adding a name like Rodrygo is not vanity. It's a chess move. It allows different formations, rotation for a punishing campaign, and a proven talent who has navigated the very peaks Arsenal now chase. But transfers are never only about desire. There are blocks, Madrid's valuation, the player's own aims, rival clubs circling, and the unmistakable truth that late window moves can fail spectacularly. Negotiations hinge on patience and timing. Will Madrid lower their asking price if a reputable bid lands? Or will they hold as a statement of intent, keeping squad depth and signalling that no one is untouchable? Will Rodrygo himself push for a move if promised minutes and a starring role? Arsenal's internal ledger matters too. Which players would they be willing to move to raise funds? Clubs have learned the hard way that emotional snaps at deadline day can produce headline deals or crippling regret. If a bid arrives, it won't just be a contract on paper. It'll be a jolt across locker rooms and tactical whiteboards. Arteta would suddenly have an option who can peel wide, dry centrally. And finish under pressure. The sort of player who multiplies the threat level of existing attackers. Opponents would need fresh plans. Managers would tinker with markers and holdouts. On the other side, Madrid would have to consider replacements, the morale of a star who felt pushed out, and the message sent to a squad used to fighting on multiple fronts. At stake is more than one jersey. It's the narrative of a season. The momentum a single new signing can inject into a team chasing trophies. There's theatre in the timing. The final days of a window amplify everything. Rumours intensify, agents whisper privately, and the market becomes a pressure cooker where one leak can become a roar. Fans feed on the drama. Social feeds light up with what-ifs. Pundits dissect hypothetical formations. And club boards evaluate not just the fee, but commercial resonance. For Arsenal, landing Rodrygo would be headline-making and functional. It would send a message of intent to rivals and to their own supporters that the club is prepared to meet the moment. For Madrid, keeping him would be a show of depth and faith. Selling him would be a reset, a reallocation of resources that might pay off in midfield or elsewhere. So what happens next is simple and savage. Timing, money and willpower. If Arsenal push, Madrid will weigh the right price and the right narrative. If Rodrygo wants minutes, that personal urge can tilt negotiations. If rival clubs decide to escalate, the market can explode in unexpected directions. The one certainty is uncertainty, and the kind of late window uncertainty that fuels the exact headlines we're already reading. In the middle of it is a player who, despite a bench spell, remains a high-quality attacking option whose next decision could shift tactical maps across leagues. As the clock runs down, expect a flurry of claims and denials, one or two dramatic bids, and a final moment where a transfer becomes either a season-defining acquisition or another near miss that will be rehashed in punditry for months. For viewers, the choice is deliciously simple. Watch closely and choose a side. Will Arsenal's readiness become decisive force? Or will Madrid's insistence on internal solutions leave this chapter unresolved? Either way, the fallout will reverberate. in lineups, in expectations, and in the way fans remember the summer that hinged on one man's minutes and one manager's words.